Okay, the question is, can you do zone two on the mountain bike? So, I do not prescribe to this like rigid, holding back, easy riding fad that I think that we are all seeing right now about zone two. Everybody wants to ride zone two. Zone two is great, but we do not need to stick to these rigid kind of intensity ceilings that I think a lot of people believe that we do. So for me, riding the mountain bike, I mean, I call this endurance, and that's just long rides. That's any kind of consistently paced long ride. So I think, what you're asking is, can you ride easy enough on the mountain bike? And now look, I'm reading into this question. I think that's what you're asking, and I really just push back on that premise. Now, because I this is something that I see so often, maybe I am missing what you're asking. But I will say, so I don't think it's a problem to do zone two endurance rides on the mountain bike. I think you can do long mountain bike rides and get the stimulus that you're looking for from these zone two rides. However, I do think that you miss something important if you're doing zone two with this governor, with this intensity ceiling. And I'm going to get into that. So I will say, in my coaching, again, I don't have this huge emphasis on zone two. We do a ton of endurance riding, but most of the people that I coach do not have the time to make use of what we are defining as zone two, which is this really low intensity riding. I give people a ton of moderate volume at around tempo intensity. That's just much more my methodology. So I want to make that caveat clear before I kind of go on to explaining what I think you do give up in these intensity governed zone two mountain bike rides. So again, that is not my normal prescription for people that I coach. What I think you give up if you ride mountain bikes at with a strict or with any kind of intensity governor is that mountain bike riding, a huge part of mountain bike riding and off-road riding, is centered around efficiency, momentum, and carrying speed. And when you ride your mountain bike deliberately easy, you really change the nature of that. That doesn't happen when you ride on the road. When you ride on the road and you ride easy, you're not like fundamentally changing the nature of the ride and kind of your behavior on the bike. When you put this governor on the mountain bike, the loss in speed and efficiency is really kind of exponential. It really just changes the nature of the ride pretty significantly. And I do think that's fine occasionally, but I see people who only ride their mountain bikes fast in races, and I think you're just giving up a lot of, you're giving a lot up because you don't have the familiarity with riding your mountain bike fast, using momentum, carrying speed, efficiency, all of these things, the way that the handling is changed in order to kind of capture those components of off-road riding. So I think you're asking the question about something else, but that is the thing that I see compromised when people ride their mountain bikes with a intensity governor. So I'm not sure that's the answer that you were looking for. That's what I see given up riding mountain bikes when you're really governed. It's not how I coach. I don't put these intensity ceilings on in this way. If I see someone who consistently kind of blows up early in their ride, I will tell them to try to pace more consistently. But I'm not having people hold back with this wattage or RPE or heart rate ceiling for zone two rides. It's just a different way of training. So in short, yes, I think you can do your zone 2 rides on the mountain bike. I would call it endurance and just go for consistently paced mountain bike rides and make sure that you are maintaining the nature of off-road riding with this emphasis on efficiency and carrying speed.